I think it's going. Hot damn. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I know it's Monday after dark. You guys have been getting a lot of after darks recently, and I apologize. I had to do grades today, and then, then I had to go to the gym before they closed, and then that's where we are. But I'm full of delicious chicken and Caesar salad, and I'm ready to do a show. So, for you night owls, Euros, and Australians, welcome. Let's get this party started. Okay, so I'm an idiot. I had some great BBBY calls at $9.50, and I sold them for a profit. And I was like, oh, I'll do today's AMC calls. And then AMC went, and BBBY went, whoop, and I'm a dumbass. Yeah, so that's where I'm sitting. Anyway, it's been noted that Ryan Cohen's part in Bed Bath & Beyond is still exactly the same. He has not gotten rid of any of his calls or any of his shares, so he's still holding. He's got this crazy amount of deep out of the money calls for January, and who knows? Maybe we'll hit it. That'd be fantastic if it happens. But yeah. Pete Donnelly, where's the big push on Bed Bath & Beyond come from? Is it legit? Well, 90% of the float went in the money on Friday. 90%. So, if this Friday, which is the monthlies, if the price is up this Friday from last Friday, then it's going to be probably several times the float is going to be in the money there, Pete. So my guess is next Monday will be even crazier. So I should probably dump everything and get back into Bed Bath & Beyond calls and go from there, because it's spicy, baby. They are doing an incredible amount of trading through the dark pools. 164 million shares today, and 100 million of those went through dark pools. So that's meh. Yeah, everything else said, dogs who are on the floor no one can see. I don't know. So might as well usher in the evening with this. Smash you with the chair. Okay, all right. Turn off that thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, big dog. I didn't mean to offend you. I slightly rolled back, and I think I ran over him with the new wheelie chair. Oops. Okay, so what's on your mind, everybody? Have any other news? I don't think I have any other news. So, and Rolnick, you made it to Hot Dog Johnny's. Got the birch beer. Birch beer's amazing. The dogs, man. I don't remember the dogs. I think as a kid they just were hot dogs. But the birch beer is what was seared into my mind. But yeah, amazing atmosphere, ambiance, right on the river. It's gorgeous, perfect for summer days. Highly recommend it. J-Dog, is Denali really bigger than Everest? I mean, in a sense, from base to height to top, summit, Denali's like 21,000, 20,000 something feet. Everest, from its base to its summit, is like 17,000 feet. But the biggest is Mauna Kea. They go from its base to the top is like 33,000 feet, and it's the most massive mountain in the world. But there's prominence, which is height over the base of the continent, or a connected landmass. In that case, Mount Everest being almost 30,000 feet is the winner. Oshi Gaming. My parents want to kick me out because I can't get a job, but no one is hiring, and they can't understand that. Any tips? I'm borderline about selling my plasma for myself. Well, man, work anywhere. Restaurants need people. They need them desperately. So if you want to, make $200-300 a day, go wait tables, bartend. That's probably the best thing to do. But work sucks. No one wants to work, ever. Why would you want to work when you can not work? But, the whole trying to survive thing is also equally important. You got to go do your thing to survive, and plus you get cash to do things like Invest, right, big dog? Oh, there's the big dog. You forgave me for running you over with a chair. That's okay. There you go. Big hollow brain. Yes. And really, I have major expenses coming up end of October. What are the chances AMC, GME, MMTLP, or Sears will pay out by then? Sears, no. I think Sears got another 6 months or so of winding down the bankruptcy. MMTLP, they're shooting for sometime this month to announce that they're going to go private. So that might force buying on those shares. AMC and GME, probably not till sometime in October. If the T90 kicks off for GME, which I don't know if it will because of the way the DTCC sort of illegally labeled the stock as a split and not a dividend. AMC would be like November on their T plus 90 unless weird things happen sooner. But yeah, right, big dog? So I don't know if by October would quite be enough, but MMTLP, they might have a pop if they are indeed going private at the end of the month. B-Ball 3710. I had an order to sell one GME share at 750 pre-split that had been set maybe 8 to 10 months ago, set to expire till executed. Today it was removed. Is that normal? Yeah. Some brokers only let you set those for 3 months. So the fact that they let you do 8 to 10 months, that's a lot. So you can go set it again and see what happens. Jason Blackwell, Doug Sifu from Virtue on CNBC admitting that his company has infinite liquidity through creating and selling naked long positions. Are naked longs just as bad as synthetic shorts? Sounds illegal. Yeah, naked anything is bad. We need to put a stop to it, end it, and not allow folks to sell anything naked, ever. Okay. Andrew does want me to go somewhere in the world, so let's go somewhere in the world. Boom, boom, boom. Going south. We're going to St. Helena? Is that where we are? Somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic. Edinburgh, the Seven Seas, Tristan de Cunha. I don't know this little island at all. We are at 30 south, 37 south. Okay. Clearmare speaks, summit of the island Tristan de Cunha in the South Atlantic Ocean. It has an elevation of 2,000 meters. It's a shield volcano. That seems pretty steep for a shield volcano, but it's in the ocean, so it's going to be basalt. Oh, you guys can't. I always forget you guys can't see that. See the articles. Come on, go. Button. There we go. Okay. So, heart-shaped crater. Normally frozen during the winter, the upper slopes of the volcano are covered in snow. The only recorded eruption began in 1961. I don't think there's any population on this thing. It's used by its navigation point. I don't think there's any population. So it's a big empty island. Huh. Oh, there's the heart-shaped crater. There it is. Look at that. What a cute little lake. Yeah. Wait. Oh, there is a town. Oh, look at that. Double Trust Bar, Seven Seas Market. Got a hospital. St. Helen headquarters. Thatched House Museum. Huh. Come on, give me that. Oh, okay, so it is St. Helena. Okay, yeah. A lot of talk about St. Helena recently since they're doing like a biopic of Napoleon. Attempt to rescue Napoleon prison of St. Helena military garrison renamed until the end of World War II. All right, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. There you go. They're facing north because on the south side of the equator. Therefore, oh, is that a port? Or is that just... Oh, that's a nice point break. That'd be a good surf spot right there. Get the big hurricane swells pushing things just right there. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good surf break indeed. And there's 3 round lakes. Boom, boom, boom. All in these little cinder cones here. I dig it. You guys are probably so bored right now. Most isolated island in the world. It's pretty isolated. I mean, you got one little guy right there, and then it's thousands and thousands of miles to South Africa or over to like Uruguay. Yeah, pretty isolated. Not much landmass between here and there at all. Well, you guys can't see. There we go. Look at that. Right there. Boom, boom. And one tiny little town probably gets like a ship or 2 a year to stop off and drop some things off in this pretty gnarly harbor. Not much of a breakwater there, especially if stuff comes from the north. Man, go visit someday. No airport. Can only get there by ship. B-Ball's BBBY run the last couple of days. FOMO? No, I think it's forced buying. They had 90% of the float go in the money on Friday. So there's a lot of buying that's to get done. And then if it keeps going through this Friday, there's probably going to be a lot more buying. But Javi A, good evening, Houston. Bed Bath & Beyond on a nice run while GME is stalling. This OPEX might be juicy for feeling rug pull to shake off the FOMO. What do you think? Well, GameStop, I think, is going to go down. Well, DVS has talked about this, about the dates of the OPEX T35s and the XRT T35s. So last week was 2 weeks ago was XRT T35s that went and pushed GameStop up, and then we got a little bit of gamma the next week. It's been kind of flat and a little down since then, and it'll probably keep going that way until this Friday or after, when the next forced buying round happens next week. Might get a little run. But XRT came off the reg show list, yes, on Friday? Something like that. So the thresholds list. So I don't quite know how it's going to turn out from there, but I expect a little green next week for GameStop. But I think Bed Bath & Beyond is the one that's kind of leading the way at the moment. Pontal, Houston, why are there huge waves off the north shore of Oahu in the wintertime, but not in the summertime? Thank you, happy birthday. Oh, well, that's right back to Google Earth. Go to another isolated island out in the middle of an ocean. Okay, here we go. The reason why there's huge waves in Hawaii on the north shore during the winter is this. The Gulf of Alaska. This is where some of the scariest, gnarliest storms in human history will develop and absolutely just pound the northern parts of the Pacific Northwest. The storms that hit here every single week would make the hurricanes that hit Florida look like chump change. They are absolutely just so gnarly and gigantic. Nor'westers, whatever you want to call them. Post-tropical cyclones is what we call them when they hit Washington, which is not as rare, or not as often. It's more rare than them just like hitting, the Straits of Georgia and Queen Charlotte Island and Juneau and all the places in here. These storms are huge. We're talking Category 3 hurricane force winds across a path that's 300 miles wide, and they generate massive, absolutely massive waves. The thing is that the storm surge is not something that people really consider with these storms, because the slopes of all the land here are so steep that you don't notice the storm surge. If you get a storm with incredibly low pressures up here, there is a storm surge, but the shores are so steep that it doesn't really make a difference. Whereas if you had a storm like that hit flat Florida, it would just cover the entire state in water, and then everyone would be dead. And the trees down here are not big, and they're palm trees and pussy little trees that get blown over really easy. These are 400-foot tall Douglas firs that just don't care. The storms up here are just incredible. The Hanukkah Eve storm, which was a post-tropical cyclone that hit in December 2006, basically hit dead on the Washington coast. It had a Category 3 wind swath that was almost 400 miles wide. So you had 125 mile an hour winds from Portland up to Vancouver. And just this huge swath went across. Knocked out power to 10 million people, and it caused 60-foot waves to come crashing into the Big Island. I was actually graduating from college that week, and so 60-foot waves are crashing straight into Hilo Harbor. And then there was a refractive wave that came around the island, and it was putting 30-foot waves into Kailua Kona for a storm that was on the other side of the island. It's thousands of miles away. It was just monstrous. Like type of waves you can measure on a seismograph. Boom. Every time they go down, you can just feel it in the earth. I don't know if I've ever seen waves like that in person. They were insane. And my brother, he didn't bring a surfboard. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, last time I came to Big Island, there's no surf. I'm like, dude, you were here in the summertime. It is December. And when the 35-foot waves came into Kona, where my family had gotten a condo, he went running barefoot to the surf shop. And was like, give me something. And the only thing they had was like this 7-foot tweener board. And so we sat and watched him just get absolutely pummeled by 30-foot waves all day. While the locals were on 13-foot guns and stuff that were, they're like, who is this weirdo out here on this board? But he, survived and caught a couple waves on those things. But man, it was terrifying. Those waves are huge. That's why you get the big stuff. Every once in a while, you get hurricanes forming off of the west side of Mexico, and usually they pump up and slam into Baja or in Puerto Vallarta. But every once in a while, they catch one of the trade winds and they follow along and then hit the Hawaiian Islands. The biggest one was Aniki in 1995, 92. Somewhere in there. And that came up into the warm waters in the leeward side of the islands and got really powerful. 200-mile-an-hour winds smacked into there. And there's some beaches on the Big Island that have never recovered. They were like sandy beaches 30 years ago, and now they're just boulders, all because of that one storm. And you can get big hurricanes or cyclones in the South Pacific that sends huge waves up north. So every once in a while, you'll get just monstrous waves in the summertime. They'll hit the South End Islands because... in the wintertime, because the southern hemisphere is having their summer, and they're pumping cyclones and stuff down here. But that's the reason. Okay. Jane King's from the UK. Welcome. Jane King, it feels like the whole GME share dividend has gone terribly wrong, and we don't seem to be talking about it now. Surely DTCC can't just get away with what they've done. So far, they've gotten away with it, but there is still the option to pull their shares from the DTCC and put them on a different trading platform. And that would absolutely screw over the DTCC big time. Meow meow. Okay, everybody. How the hell did Star Trek Enterprise fail? They had naked Jolene Blaylock, and naked Jolene Blaylock is worth 10 Darth Vaders. I still haven't seen Enterprise. That's the one I have not seen any of yet. I watched original, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Discovery, Strange New Worlds. I have not seen Enterprise. Lower Decks is hilarious. If you got a chance to see Lower Decks, watch that. It is so funny. But I never watched Enterprise. But maybe it failed because I didn't know that there was a naked Jolene Blaylock. Yeah. You need your 7 of 9 character for the nerds in there for sure. Yep. Okay. Andrew Stewart, it must have happened this week of putting all my cast iron skillets in the dishwasher. The FTDs for GameStop on July 22nd were the highest they'd been since January 2021. So things are going to get spicy again, especially now that retail is hyper focused on that stock. The T35 for that should be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Jane King, have a look at the video Wall Street Journal put out on YouTube 3 weeks ago dissing Bed Bath & Beyond just before the price exploded. Yeah, they're complaining about Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond, again, does $12.5 billion a year in sales. And you can buy, as of like last week, could have bought the entire company for $500 million. That is a bargain. And they'll turn it around because you got $12.5 billion on the line. So why wouldn't you turn it around and make it all better? So it's going to happen. And there's squeeze play. The fundamentals are there, and there's squeeze play. So expect this sucker to explode. Lots of people giving Hoshi advice there. Yeah, man, I mean, just go somewhere. I don't know exactly where you're living. It's different everywhere, but here in Seattle, there's so much work to be had. Everyone is incredibly understaffed. Even though the economy's all going to collapse, they still need people to like do things for them. So, hit the pavement. Go in, hit those Craigslist ads, see who's hiring where. Mark Sloan, the GME stock split shares were finally updated in my Canadian TD account to a dividend split shares. Okay, so the Canadians got shares. Interesting. All right. J-Dog, the universe is infinite. How can it be expanding? Because it's got infinite space to expand into. So that's a hand-wave way of saying it, but if you have a void that's infinite and you only have a finite amount of mass, then as it expands, it fills in that infinite space. That's how. And no, don't off yourself, Hoshi. That's unnecessary. All you do is just go wait some tables. Go get a job at the produce department of the grocery store. Get union pay and all the health care you'd ever need. And all you have to do is like stack bananas and stack apples. It's kind of mindless, but it's good money. It's union pay. You get, your minimum vacations, and if you like shooting the shit with strangers, it's a great job. All right. Thoughts on Revlon? Revlon had itself a little pop today. What did they do? Got close to $9, didn't they? Quick look at my list here. 830. So it's 830 is where it finished, but it got up to 908. So it did get above $9, and that shot from 638. So whoever had options on this sucker at one point was up $400. Not too shabby indeed. Not too shabby indeed. I did not have them because I'm an idiot and I dumped my Bed Bath & Beyond for AMC, and AMC just shit the bed. I was hoping to see some green today, but they hammered it. They kept pushing it, keeping it below $24, and just did not get there. Okay. Okay. Deck P. Houston, happy birthday, not your birthday. What's your take on GME 90 days after the split? What happens? Well, if the DTCC had done it properly and issued everything as a dividend, T plus 90 would be insanity. But they didn't. They did it as a forward split, so everyone just took a bunch of shares that existed and made them into more shares, which isn't supposed to happen. And so I have no idea what's going to happen now at T90. I mean, you may if like Canadian TD guys did it as a forward split, or as a dividend and not a forward split. That is that enough to see a pop? I'm not sure. I don't know. I have no idea what happens at T plus 90 now, because the DTCC pulls shenanigans, which that's what they do. And I'm at a loss, man. Yeah. Paratern. Houston, in your opinion, could GameStop become the new Berkshire? If a full-blown float gets DRS'd and nobody sells the CS shares, wouldn't volume drop heavily when price maintains high? Not if you can sell naked whenever you want, because you're a market maker, and that's what you're allowed to do. And to be a bona fide market maker, pretty much gives you superpowers to do anything you want. That's up above. The head of Virtue said, I've got infinite liquidity. I can print anything I want whenever I want, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's kind of evil, but it's true. They can kind of do whatever they want whenever they want. BOFH, first time... Oh, where'd you go? Sorry. It just reset on me. I hate it when it does that. I was reading BOFH. Where are you? Where are you? There we go. First time catching a show live again. Shame it's at midnight Central Standard Time. I have to work tomorrow, or today, I suppose. Oh well, sacrifice I want to make. Well, welcome. Sorry to ruin your work tomorrow. That's what happens. Night owl astronomer does his best work at 10:30 at night Pacific time. Okay. Have you ever, as Peep-Parp, have you ever visited these coordinates? Where am I? I don't know. I don't know if I visited those coordinates. They're not popping up in my brain as if I have. Nah. No, I have not been to the Dominican Republic ever. But I'd love to go to the Dominican Republic. That looks like a nice lagoon there. Some fancy houses. Looks like a house being constructed. And some more probably planned in the future. I always find it funny when you have a pool next to beautiful water like this. It's like, well, why? you got this. You got this beautiful lagoon that was made here for your big fancy houses. But some fancy places getting built in the DR, and then you step away from it a little ways, it's just abject poverty in a lot of places. But looks like some lovely beaches though. Some great beaches along here. But no, I've never been to the DR. I'd love to go. See what it's like. I was dating a girl who was Dominican. Her dad was from there, and she goes back and visits, and did not make it to the point where I would go visit the family. But yeah, Punta Cana, that's the place to go. That's where all the hip and with the people go. But no, I've not been there. I'd love to go someday. Georgie's here. All right, the morning time for you as well. And the Mariners are leading. J-Dog. Well, good. Because the last time they played the Angels, when they got in that giant brawl, it just kept going. And it spurred the Mariners into a 14-game winning streak. So let's do it again. Let's do it again. Citadel posted massive losses today. Yeah, they posted $95 billion in losses, I guess. $31 billion per month. Yeah. Do you foresee investors pulling out heavily in September? I think it has to. I think for them to avoid the what's the name of the law? There's a law that protects investors and hedge funds. That if they post 3 quarters in a row of losses, they can pull their money out. They can take it all out. And Citadel did put the rules in that limited how much money per month people were allowed to take out, which was only like 6% per year or something for X number of years. But if Citadel posts losses for this quarter as well, then come November, investors can pull their money out. FINRA has asked for a stay of execution, basically a ban on margin calls until September. No, April. Sorry. September is when the Phase 6 for the ISDA comes in, and the ISDA is not FINRA, so they can do margin calls all day long. but I'm curious to see why FINRA would want to put a stay of execution on these groups. All it's going to do is make things worse in the end. Because like if you don't margin call them when they get in trouble and liquidate them, and you have to do it in April when the economy is probably going to be 50% lower than it is now, then you're going to get way less out of them than you would if you margin call them in September or October or sometime in the fall, early fall, before all the shit hits the fan. Delaying the inevitable never makes the inevitable not happen. It doesn't. You're going to be margin calling them anyway, so you may as well do it sooner rather than later. Because you don't want to be that last hedge fund getting margin called at the very end when all of your assets are worth a third of what they were before. That would suck. You're not going to be able to close any positions. It's just, that's it. Money's going to be gone by then. Mighty Mouse, word is that Revlon calls on the money are 50% of the float. If it gets to $12, 100% of the float will be in the money. Woo! So you got $3 more to go, and we did $3 today, so why not? I like it. That means one hell of a gamma on Monday. Curious one. For something new in your life, Mr. H, you should listen to some Skinny Puppy. I love Skinny Puppy. Hell yeah. They're thunder. I listen to Skinny Puppy. Iggy Limon, Houston, what's the best way to shame Democrats and the pulling plug on FINRA's pushback from October 26, 2022 to April 24th, 2023? Going to talk to them. I talked about this last year about trying to set up lobbying by us retail investors. We should do a DC trip. Go spend a week, get our talking points laid out, get some little flyers, and just go and fan out and try to talk to every single solitary member of Congress one-on-one. Tell them, get rid of naked selling, period, for everybody. Limit high-frequency trading. Get rid of dark pools. And make folks post much stronger margin if they're going to short stocks. Because I think, my camera froze again. Did it? Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, phew, I thought it did. I thought my camera froze. I was just frozen for a second. Get them to understand that torching American companies does not help America. That if we've got, $7 to $10 trillion of investment that's entirely focused on imploding American companies, that is not how you make a strong economy. And we need to limit the tools they have to do that. So if you're going to short a stock, it has to be exceptional and rare. It can't just be willy-nilly, like, I'm going to destroy you, and I'm going to destroy you, and I'm going to destroy you. It needs to be a much better system in place to limit the power that hedge funds have to just ruin the economy and destroy lives. Okay. Says 54, Bed Bath & Beyond GME battle on two fronts, or is Bed Bath & Beyond distraction? Bed Bath & Beyond is not a distraction. Bed Bath & Beyond is a real deal, heavily shorted company, and it was in the same boat that GameStop was 2 years ago. And Ryan Cohen's on board. He's not an active investor in the company. He's passive, but he holds 10% of the company plus enough shares to, I think, get another 15 or 20%, enough calls to get another 15 or 20% if they go in the money. So, yeah. Guitar stuff, you want to know how bad Trump is? I voted for Biden instead of him. Case in point. Bono, Houston, if I fall asleep, I just want to let you know I was here. I usually miss the live cast, but try to catch up when I can. Great stuff. Thanks for the knowledge. Well, thank you for jumping in and spend at least a few minutes before you fall asleep. My dulcet tones of, I just realized my chair is like too low right now. There we go. Oh, that feels better. Yes, a little bit higher. I like this more. It's like 3 inches too low, and it just felt weird. Guitar stuff. Why do you think there seems to be more FUD around Ape than there was around Splividend? And where are those 200 million shares? Exactly. Where are those 200 million shares? I have no idea. It's interesting, the FUD around Ape, like the delay Ape thing that was trying to trend. Lou made like 9 million videos about delaying the distribution. I think they're scared because you can't make it a forward split if it's a completely different ticker. And unlike BBBY, which was worth pennies, this is a stock that's worth dollars, a company that has a market cap in tens of billions of dollars. They're not going to be able to do the type of little finagle they're hoping for. And it can blow back in our face if Adam Aron uses it as a way to dilute everything. But I think, and I'm hoping, 75% of me is sure he's going to at least wait 3 months before he does any dilution. I think he's going to wait for the T+90 to take effect, pop this sucker like crazy, and that's what I'm feeling. And it means the price on Ape is going to go through the roof as well, because they're going to have to either close their AMC positions or buy enough Ape to cover those AMC positions. So the price of both of those may, and it'll take about 3 months. It's what happened with the crypto dividend for Overstock. It took about 3 months, and the price for both those went through the roof. But the thing is that there weren't a whole bunch of active retail investors, like millions of them, hopped onto Overstock. If there's many of us that are in GameStop and AMC that were on Overstock 2 years ago, Overstock would have gone to thousands of dollars. So I think we can get there, man. I think we can get there indeed. I got this thing that's in my way. Okay. Okay. Do you think Snoopy would benefit from hemp treats or doggy Xanax? I think he already gets doggy Xanax. I have to give him 2 mood-altering pills every morning, and I don't know. He's noticed any difference. He's got a lot of anxiety as it is. But so if it mellows him out, I guess that's great. I don't know what he's like unmellowed out because I keep giving him the pills. I did forget a couple of times, but his days seem to be totally normal anyway. There's probably enough built up inside of him. Okay. Greetings, everyone, as Daphne's here. Welcome, Daphne. Blair Barkley, who don't like Annie Lennox? Why would anyone not like Annie Lennox? I waited on Annie Lennox. Would have been summer of 2002. I waited on Annie Lennox, her husband, Dan Aykroyd, and his wife. Somehow they're friends, and they came into the restaurant I was working in, and I waited on them. Can't really say I met them, but I handed them like fish and chips and stuff. But I love me some Annie Lennox. G-Funk, what's that plan for episode 200? Oh, man. We should do something special for 200, shouldn't we, Monkey? I am going to try to have on AMC Bigums either Wednesday or Friday. We're still trying to figure out exactly what time we can do. So that's going to happen. So that's going to be 185, perhaps 186. But 200, I don't know. I'll think about 200. What we're going to do for that one. Okay. Aaron Salentine, Houston, did you hear the news saying that shorts are doubling down on a short position of Bed Bath & Beyond? That seems dumb. That seems really dumb. This stock can explode. And it's good news to my ears, because as long as their short position is getting larger, it means they're not closing or covering, and their liabilities can go through the roof. I think betting against Bed Bath & Beyond is a really bad idea, because you have a billionaire backing it who can probably single-handedly save the company. And Yeah, now you got active investors jumping in. So I think it's great for us, pretty dumb for them. Guitar stuff. There's no movement on the split end and no run on Ape so far. Call synthetics and massive short exposure into question. I wouldn't say that, because right now the equivalent price of GameStop is around 160, which is pretty darn good. Because we're split into 4 shares, right? So it's $40 a share. Times those 4 shares means it's $160 a share pre-split. And if we hit 160 pre-split and stayed that level, we're pretty happy. It gave us huge room when the volatility kicked off. So we haven't really seen the type of volatility we were seeing when the price was really high on the stock, but we should start seeing big runs that go $10, $20 in a day, like we were seeing when we saw runs do $50 or $100 in a day on GameStop in the past. So I think that volatility's coming. BBBY brand, look at the options chain. It's doomsday numbers. Yeah, baby. Nut Muffin, what do you think of Charlie Vids saying there's no synthetics? I think Charlie is bought and paid for by the Chinese government, and that's what I think. Charlie's wrong. There's lots of synthetics, and the fact that they have to do shenanigans means that they're synthetics. Fried taters, barely light out there? Alright. No love for the big duck. Okay. Aaron Salentine, Houston, I think shorts on Bed Bath & Beyond is $20, $30 short position. Let's squeeze them out too. Ooh boy, $100 incoming. Yeah, right now we're below the price point they were in November and again in January or February. There's like $26, $28 somewhere in there. Those 2 times in the last year. We can definitely get to the $20 to $30 range for Bed Bath & Beyond in the next couple of weeks, I think. So that's why I should dump everything I have and get back into Bed Bath & Beyond calls. That was so stupid of me. I'd be up so much right now if I didn't do that. Live and learn, man. Live and learn. Sometimes you got to go, that was a wrong idea, eject, and do the right idea. Okay. MT Houston, please request Prosper to clip and send you any good segments that come out from tonight. Short quality clips will bring the channel next level. Oh yeah, I don't ever do clips. That's how Lou makes all his money. He does like 25 2-minute videos a day, and I don't. As a result, he does like several $100,000 a year off his YouTube channel, and I do. I raise more money on Charity Tuesdays than I make in a month off of YouTube. So, yeah, YouTube has not been. I was hoping that Treasure Hunt would generate like millions of people coming to the channel just to like get clues for the treasure hunt, and then I fucked that up. Oops. Oh well. Don't quit your day job, Houston. Literally, don't quit your day job. All right, please request Prosper to clip. Who's Prosper? Prosper. Prosper. I don't know who Prosper is, but whoever wants to clip them, by all means, get in there. Medianiacal. I've been living under a rock the past month regarding stocks. Been on vacation, moving, unpacking, relaxing, working. What's new with MOAS? What is the AMC Ape thing in a nutshell? AMC is creating a preferred equity share, and that share will have voting rights. It won't at 1/100th the level as a normal share. You will receive dividends and profit sharing or whatever if that happens, but the idea is it was originally created as a poison pill in 2013 to fend off any hostile takeover. So they generated 5 billion of these things. And if someone were going to try to hostily take over AMC, they could launch this sucker as a poison pill to make it financially impossible to take over the company. Now they're using it, I think, as a way to trap shorts on the company. It could be used also as a method to raise a whole bunch of capital so they can pay off their debt. But I hope they wait at least 3 months post issuance on Friday before they do anything like that, so they can at least squeeze the price and expose the shorts and just how bad they are on it. DVS, hey mate, Revlon is going to be a big one. Is only just starting. If you want to get in early, it's failing to deliver over 100% of the float. They're super effed. A true short squeeze. Yeah. Revlon and Bed Bath, I think, are the two that are going to make big plays in the near term. Houston, do you have some story about Dr. Oppenheimer you could share? No? I haven't read an Oppenheimer biography yet. I've read Fermi. I've read Feynman. I've read... Who else was involved there that I've read? Of course, Einstein. But Einstein wasn't really involved in Manhattan Project. He just was the one who's like, hey, send some guys and money to do this stuff. And they went, oh, Einstein said so let's do that. Niels Bohr. I haven't read an Oppenheimer. I should read an Oppenheimer biography. I should. That should be on the list. But no, I don't have any Oppenheimer tales for you as of yet. Charles K, is it too late to open Bed Bath & Beyond? I don't think so. I don't think so. Guitar Stuff, Houston. Why is there disagreement about exactly how tall Mount Everest is? Because it's really hard to measure. There is error in whatever you do. You can take a highly accurate GPS up there, and there's still an error of several inches to a foot. You can try to do altitude measuring with barometers, and there's a huge error rate with that. You can try to do bring up survey gear and look through little survey lenses and do your trigonometry and figure out how tall it is. There's going to be some error there. And Mount Everest is always growing. It grows, every year. India is still smacking into the Indian subcontinent is still smacking into Asia, making the Himalayas taller every year. So it's going to be growing. And so, a measurement you had 10 years ago is probably shorter than a measurement they'd have today. And for a long time, they didn't know if K2 was taller than Everest because it was really hard to survey that sucker and figure it out, even though it's like 1,000 feet shorter. They didn't quite know. Aaron Salentine, Bed Bath & Beyond to 80 to 100. I would love that. Let's do that. 80 to 100 sounds fantastic. 8100. Let's do it. Let's get Revlon there as well. Let's get them all there. Let's explode the prices on these suckers and have ourselves a great day. Great week, great month, great year, great everything. 1% Circle been selling covered calls on BBBY, move.amc following the volume. Vroom, box Hexo, buy blocks of 100s and wait for recovery to sell calls on them for premium. Selling covered calls right now on Bed Bath & Beyond may result in you not having any Bed Bath & Beyond shares. You'll have cash, but I think the price might move pretty quickly if you are anywhere close to in the money. Because remember, last week, $9 was Bed Bath & Beyond. And now we're touching $16 a week later. Less than a week later. 5 days later. Guitar Stuff. Also, of the 5 volcanoes in Washington, which one erupts first? Always St. Helens. St. Helens is the one that's got the most juice to it. But I think it'll take, for the others to do some serious eruptions, it'll probably take a big subduction on earthquake. There's been no fresh material from the mantle, from the melt zone in 300 years. So 250 years ago, the mountains were like fighting, having lots of eruptions. And since then, that subduction zone's been completely locked and not diving down like it should. And so we need a big old earthquake that sucker can put a whole bunch of material deep down the melt zone. And the entire length of the Cascades will have just tons of eruptions. In Oregon, the Three Sisters are probably the most likely one that's been inflating with a magma chamber for 20 years now. And even though there's 3 volcanoes there, it's really one volcano complex that shares a magma chamber. And so it can have a big cataclysmic eruption, kind of Crater Lake style. People want second intro. You're not getting second intro. Ha! So there. Okay. Damn, that fan is loud. Sorry, it's the only way I can survive. Just have that fan blowing on me. And guitar stuff's also got some coordinates here. It's in the southern hemisphere. Tropical. Monday night coordinate night. We're on Atoll. We're on a little. Is this what, Diego Garcia or something? Where are we? Yeah, Diego Garcia. There we go. Yeah. So this is a British base that was used oftentimes by Americans out in the middle of the Indian Ocean, at the end of the Maldives chain here, which is sort of the remnants of volcanoes that erupted as India moved along the Indian Ocean and slapped into Asia. Diego Garcia, also where lots of refugees have been housed from time to time from various natural disasters and wars. A lot of the B-2 bombers that were used during the Iraq wars were stationed here. I'm sure other than being a glorified airfield, it's probably beautiful tropical waters and a neat place to visit. Lots of military base though. Lots of spots for big ships to come in. Lots of fuel. Lots of barracks. What else you got going on out here? This must be the town. So they've got a hotel. Got a baseball field. So that's for the Merkins. I don't see any cricket fields though for being a British base. Maybe elsewhere. What else we got here? These atolls are always crazy. This is probably munition storage. So those are bunkers for munitions. Ring road that goes all the way around. Salt pan. I don't know what you'd be. Be a power station? I don't know. Chagos. It's like a little plantation? What is that? It's a little town. Got a mission. Huh. A dock. And a plantation. Huh. Anniversary Island. So it looks like most of the stuff is on the west side of the island. Gas station. So if you guys run out of fuel, get it there. I would love to go. I want to go visit so many of these places. That's what MOAS money's about, is that every single one of these places I go, I'll put that on the list and go visit there someday. I really want to go to the Seychelles so bad. Seychelles aren't too far from there, considering. Right, monkey? Monkey butt. Hey, monkey. Come on, get up here. Get up here so people have something to look at. Come on. Oh, yeah. Stretch it out. There you go. The monkey booty for all you to look at there and admire. Oh, meow meow. Sorry I didn't see this one. What is your IQ? It's good enough. The only time I was ever officially tested, I was in 7th grade, and it was decent. Wasn't too shabby. I want to give numbers out there. I don't really prescribe to IQ tests. Like, I joined Mensa for a time, and it was just a collection of some of the most boring, awful people. and you think about Mensa, like, their entire income comes from people paying dues for them being told they're smart, which seems like a great grift if you ask me. I enjoy Mensa puzzles. I've got some collections of Mensa puzzles, and they're fun. Especially the spatial reasoning ones are really fun. The word puzzles are not where my genius lies at all, and I suffer horribly trying to play the word puzzle ones. But the spatial reasoning and the mathematical puzzles, that's where I do well. But have you ever noticed that no matter how you perform on an online intelligence test, they'll give you the same intelligence rating? And they tell everyone if they're smart. Everyone. Like, it's impossible to bomb one of those online tests. You can try to bomb it and be like, your IQ is 135. You're a very smart person. You go, oh, wow, I'm so smart. I've always thought I was. But IQ is mostly specific to white culture and American European culture. And if you're outside that culture, oftentimes the references and the skills that are measured don't quite match up if your life experience is different. And I don't agree with that. There's also ways to measure people's intelligences. And, like teaching at art schools for as long as I have, there are folks that consider themselves stupid because they might not have a mathematical brain, but they are some of the most talented visual and musical artists I have ever witnessed. And they have genius that is off the charts. They just don't have, the book smart genius that we associate with being a genius. But they could take a pen and ink and draw you in the most realistic, amazing way, or turn you into a cartoon, or I don't know. There's lots of ways to measure intelligence, and the IQ test is just a way. And it kind of leans towards white men as its bias, because those are the guys that make it. So I think there's better ways to measure intelligence, because there's lots of genius in all sorts of different realms. Even the dumbest person you meet, there's something very specific they're probably freakishly good at, and you're like, whoa, how'd your brain do that? There's lots of genius out there. Okay. Houston, that sure is popping. This is a lovely shirt of feathers that a viewer gave me, and I wish I have the letter in a pile on my desk, and I can't remember who sent that one. Is it Kevin? Shoot. Who sent this one to me? I wish I remembered. Maybe Keo? Crap. I can't remember my stack of letters, and I can't remember which one sent it. Thank you, viewer. I don't remember which one sent this to me. But I love this shirt. This shirt is beautiful, and it's actually, for being thick cotton, is like not super warm, not super hot, and it's really comfy. It's really soft. It's a good shirt. Who made it? It was a brand of some kind. It is Vess? Styled by Vess. And it's an extra large, but it actually is, no, I'm not swimming in it. Maybe it's because I've gotten so beefy recently. I don't know. Not my name. Houston visiting a friend in Juneau. Any tips or cool rock facts you have in the area? I have never been to Juneau, so I don't have any tips or rock facts, although there's tons of gold in all the streams up there. I had a neighbor who bragged about her son being 10 years old and allowed to work the deep fryer at McDonald's back in the 80s. That's a Juneau fact for you. Child labor law apparently doesn't exist in Juneau. You can do whatever you want. Make a 10-year-old operate the fryer machine at McDonald's. David Dixon. Houston, is the internal strife at BBBY just your basic run-of-the-mill executive squabble, or was it orchestrated by Susquehanna? Oh, let's get into that conspiracy realm. That I don't know. Although BBBY did announce that they're launching their social media website. Is it today they announced they're launching it? I'm looking to you, Monkey. You should have all the answers, right? You should have all the answers. But, the stock still closed at 71 cents. But causing strife inside a shorted company is exactly what short hedge funds seem to do. So that wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. Although they quashed that lawsuit pretty quick. The price, the stock is still frozen. And so there must be another reason why it's frozen right now. I don't know. BW brand, Alaska's gracious, great. Nothing but a mess there. Iggy Lemon, where are the best spots to camp and look for serpentine? Oh. I would venture... I mean, there is some that the San Andreas Fault slips on. Blue Pass up in Washington has some. Also a bunch of gold up there as well. I've never looked for any myself personally, so I don't know. We talked about Serpentinite, which is the asbestos stuff. And some viewers in North Carolina, I think, said he had it on his property. I'll never look for it. But if you want to go find it, mindat.org. That's the place to go look. Okay. Second shift, finally got to 1,000 GME today. Oh, man. Woo! That's the goal. Get to that 1,000. If everyone gets to that 1,000, if they can, slowly but surely, chunka. And then when it explodes, who cares what price it is at that point? You made it. Let me look here. Special K9 just won the war with a huge spider that's been toying with me for days. Not in my house. In Hawaii, the spiders would move in, and we just had to use a shop vac and have spider apocalypse every once in a while. It's just so many of them. Just so many. Just had to do it that way. Talking about rare plants that grow in serpentine areas. Yeah, we don't have orchids up here, so that's good. But I don't know what rare plants would grow in that rock here. I don't know. BBBY brand. Crime pays, but botany doesn't. His YouTube channel. He goes over what can be found in different soils. He's very knowledgeable on rare plants around the world. Sounds like something I'd like to watch. Crime pays, but botany doesn't. Okay, I'll check that one out. What if you say has any good spider stories? I got a couple of good spider stories. In Okinawa, there's a spider called the rain spider, which are just huge. They set up between two trees. You know, trees can be 20, 30 feet apart, and they'll make a giant web. And the spider body, I don't know, probably big as a 50-cent piece, but the legs come out, so the spider's probably this big, right? 10-inch, 12-inch legs wingspan. And they catch birds. Birds fly into the nest and they eat the bird. And so I'm 8 years old. My sister's probably 12 and a half. And we're with our dad. And we went to some old Ronin castle or whatever, samurai castle in Okinawa. And these ruins. And it's like a spiral path that leads up to the castle. And so every set of trees had a giant rain spider in it. And it just freaked me out as a kid. And a bird came, hit the spider, knocked the spider off the web, landed in my sister's hair, and is desperately trying to get out of my sister's hair. And all it's doing is just getting tangled up in there as it's trying to get away. She's freaking out. My dad is trying to help her, but at the same time is so horrified that he has to touch the spider and pull it off her head. That's pretty traumatic. that was like heebie-jeebies to the umpteenth level. I think the only thing that was more freaky in Okinawa was watching someone eat a live octopus while we were at a restaurant, and it's like pulled his glasses off its face in his desperate attempt to not be eaten by this dude, and I just was like, not hungry. I can't do that. Yeah, there's a spider story for you, but there's other. We'll use them sparingly. I'll tell another spider story another day. But look up rain spiders. They're nuts. All right, we'll look them up right now. How about that? Yeah. Where is... Go there. Turn off Google Earth. Chrome. Okay. Images. Okay, it's giant spiders. This is not really showing how big they are. There's one, I think, eating a bird. Or something. They're pretty darn big, man. They're huge. You have arachnophobia right now. You'd be freaking out. Okay, I want giant spider okie. Oh, where's good ones? Where's the good ones? Looks like almost like a king spider. Show it in a tree, man. Banana spider. That's not a spider crab. Oh, here we go. Here's a rain spider eating a bird. Okinawa. That's them. That's what fell on my sister's hair and was trying to do its darndest. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but they are huge. Come on, show the stupid picture. But they are something else, man. They're huge. Is that a better one? That's a smaller one. Here's one eating a bird. Yeah. So that bird's probably that big. And it's just a spider just eating it. They are just so gnarly looking. Okay. Yeah, spider season, Iggy Limon. Spider season is coming. Got like a month until spider season, and then everywhere you walk is just through a web, and just huntsmans and wolf spiders, and they're just everywhere. Orb spiders, sack spiders. BBBY brand can go outside here at night with an LED mounted headlight and see thousands of spiders looking at the light. I had 2 spiders. So when I was living in this hippie house, renting a room for these Hare Krishnas, which was just the worst, but no one else would rent me a room. And I had two cane spiders. And they're decent size. They're, about as big in diameter as a baseball. And I had lefty and righty. Lefty had 1 left leg and 3 right legs. And righty had 1 right leg and 3 left legs. And they were like a couple. They did everything together. I'd never seen anything like it's like an albatross that mates for life, but 2 spiders. And it comes a point in Hawaii oftentimes where the creatures are so plentiful and large, you just got to name them and just accept the fact that you might have, a giant cockroach and some rats in the living room, whatever. You just name them. You don't know what else to do with them. And so lefty and righty, they would like to sit above my headboard on the wall, and when a car would drive by, their eyes would glow. And it was freaky. I'd never seen anything like that before. And then one day, I accidentally killed lefty and righty. I didn't mean to. I actually kind of had gotten this, I don't know, mutual symbiotic relationship with them. But I had this plastic shelving that a roommate had moved out and left behind. So I was like, oh, sweet, I'll take this thing. It's like plastic tubes, and they connect to each other. So each one is a tray with some tubes, and you can connect and make it taller and taller. So I was like 5 feet tall. So it's just tubes that went all the way down. And I had taken a baseball, and I had set it on top of one of the tubes because it was just there. So I put it on top of the tube, and that's where the baseball stayed. And I didn't see lefty and righty. I was like, oh, they're gone. Oh, well, they moved on, whatever. And then 6 months later when I moved out, I took the baseball off the top, and there was lefty and righty just dead, frozen underneath the baseball. That hole they had made into their home, and I accidentally killed both of them without realizing it because I just stuck a baseball there. Sorry, lefty and righty. I hope when we meet in heaven someday that you can forgive me for accidentally entombing you instead of the hole in your home. I didn't mean to. It was a complete error on my part. What a way to go. In the darkness, starving to death, dehydrated, not knowing why you can't move this dark thing that just blocked your home. Oh well. Daphne, after hearing Trim Bath interviewed on The Gist, sounds very complicated and highly unlikely that GME will pull their stock from the DTCC. She went into detail, although not impossible, highly unlikely. I give it 50-50, They could just go for legend status, go be legendary, yoink, and see what happens. John Castro, glad to be in real life. Welcome. Okay, where are we? Looking. Carlos Velasco wants to know if Ape is going to bend Moas over, and he wants to ask it 10 times. Very possibly. We don't know. All we can do is let it happen. Sit back and see what they do, man. Yeah. And did it take 30 minutes to get there? It took 40 minutes to get to that question. So there we go. All right. DVS Revlon be a true short squeeze. Everyone needs to go and look at FTDs. It's like Volkswagen. One large owner, 3.2 million float, should run off the options chain. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get in there. Let's how many? What are the options trading for right now? For let's see. Look at maybe 3 months out for Revlon. Options, that'd be November. So November 18th options. $3 in the money right now. We went up 65% though, so you could have bought that same one for $1 and change. But yeah, big gains at the $4 level, through $5 level, 75%. Man, $19 call is $1.95 for November. It's up 50%. How many could I get? Do the math. Okay. Maybe that's why. Oh, the camera froze. You son of a biscuit. What is wrong with you? Well, okay. Looks like we're doing the last 45 minutes or so on the monkey cam. There's a monkey. Sorry, monkey. Cam's got to go this way. Bing. There we go. Oop. All right. Through the microphone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the monkey cam. The regular camera from Elgato, I put it in a new port, and it just looks like it has like an hour life, and then it just dies. Hour and 10 minutes, somewhere on there. Okay. James Head. Oh, crap. What? And then just reset again. Everything's falling apart here, folks. 1024. So we're James Heb. I'm in Australia, and my brokerage removed and added my GME. They confirmed it doesn't affect my tax basis, isn't a sell, buy, but could answer why I didn't just get 3 shares per dividend. So they had to pull shenanigans to get your shares. But at least, unlike the Germans, they didn't sell all your shares, buy them back, and I got a tax liability. That sucks. And they really need to fix that. Slayer J, bro sent me something from Gherkin saying RC double down on BBBY. Awesome. I think Revlon and BBBY are going to be the two more immediate plays that happen. And we got to wait for AMC and GME and their dividend stuff to shake out. So, yeah. Mike, how will Phase 6 affect GME? I think the big thing about Phase 6 is it has to do with trading on the derivatives market, meaning basically these folks swapping weird derivatives, obligations back and forth. And some of those obligations, say, are FTDs on a stock like GameStop. And if you're getting close to that T35 date, you want to swap with somebody else, wonk, reset the T35 data ownership, and it starts all over again, and you get to live another day. Well, if suddenly you are a trader who's between $8 billion a year and $50 billion a year in the derivatives market, and you have to put up a boatload of collateral of margin to get margin to do the trades, and you can't suddenly do that trade, and you are stuck at that T35 date, and you owe, and you're going to get liquidated. That's the stuff that could be happening here. And the big reason for requiring those folks to put up that margin or that collateral is groups like Archegos, who had their assets under management of like $800 million, and then they took those assets and they went to a bank like Credit Suisse. And like, hey, Credit Suisse, I've got $800 million bucks. Will you lend to me at a 30-to-1 margin? And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. And then they took a bunch of money, did a bunch of plays, and they went to Nomura in Japan. They're like, hey, Nomura, I've got $800 million in assets. Will you lend me a bunch of money to make a bunch of plays at 31 margin? They're like, yeah, sure, why not? And then they went to Goldman Sachs, and they went to JP Morgan, and they went to Merrill Lynch, and they did the same thing using the same assets over and over again for multiple plays. And all of a sudden, everything was completely over leveraged. So they were an $800 million firm that was doing $30 billion or more in shorting and derivatives plays, and it wasn't sustainable. So that's where we left off. And so now the ISDA, the system that connects all the banks around the world, is going to require everybody to post more margin to do trades in the derivatives market. And if these folks, these smaller hedge funds and family funds who are shorting stocks like GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond and everything else, when they get failure to delivers, there'll be no way for them to swap because they don't have the assets or capital on hand to meet the margin requirements. And so they're going to get stuck. They're going to be holding that hot potato when the music stops, or sitting down without a chair when the music stops. They're going to be they're going to be bummed. Just in my head is shared dreaming with a device and chemicals like Inception possible? I don't know enough about brains to tell you one way or the other. Sure. I mean, at a theoretical level, like we can hook up, things, people's brains. We can do MRIs. We can look at their brain waves and stuff like that. And we can actually see some of what they're doing. Like we can have people like picture a house, and on a computer screen we can kind of see almost a picture of a house. And computers can guess what people are thinking about using those connections. So theoretically, let's say we can take out the noise, and we can, if a computer can understand what's in a picture, theoretically, why shouldn't we be able to hook two brains up and have them, shoot thoughts back and forth? I don't know what type of hacking of brains that would require. And if someone has a more powerful brain than another person, could they overtake the thought process of that person? That'd be freaky. I don't know, man. I don't know, Justin. It'd be cool if we did, wouldn't it? It'd be like the ultimate video game. Bithead Pretender to VWAP Pontiff, get a new camera, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do. This thing isn't even a year old. I gotta figure out. I got my Elgato thing right here. Basic instructions. Maybe there's a send this shit back, send me a new one instructions. Yes, I got my little doodad right there. Figure my stuff out, man. Okay, but thank you so much, Bithead Pretender to VWAP Pontiff. Waylong Beddings, that's a good name by the way. How do you feel about Ripple lawsuit with SEC and the potential clarity XRP would receive if Ripple wins? I know nothing about it. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, so I don't know. I'll have to learn about it first. There, Waylong. Robert Trail, feel like we are so close to that game for AMC, GME, and others. I do, man. It does feel like there's like a little change in the wind. We get these every few months. We're like, oh, something feels different. I smell blood in the water. And right now I smell a lot of blood in the water. Yeah. Filthy New Zealand. 5:30 p.m. in New Zealand. Great time. It is a perfect time in New Zealand right now. You guys are probably lovely winter day. Hope it's crisp and clear. Sitting down, enjoying the show. Houston's an hour behind in the chats. Yeah. New Zealand, people talking about spiders. New Zealand has some spiders. New Zealand has a 3-foot long centipede. So there's that to deal with in New Zealand. There's a 3-foot long centipede. They also have ground parrots. That's cool. And Kia birds. So, Kia birds are like the parrot version of a crow, and they love to dismantle things and torture people, essentially. They're fantastic. DVS, the reason why BBBY is running now pre-OPEX is because RC is doubling down. Trust me, bro. Selling BBB for AMC, FARC, that's really bad play. I know, man. Oh, it's really dumb on me. I'd be up so much right now instead I'm down so much right now. I can still get out and jump in, claw a little bit back. It won't be as much as it would have been, but it'll still claw a little bit back and be happy. Okay. We got Edwin in Missouri. We got Jizmar. I hope I said that right. In the Philippines, welcome. Okay. Alviers Houston, have you seen the movie Arrival? Yes. Fantastic movie. My linguistics sister loved it. She speaks like 11 languages and has degrees in linguistics, and she thought it was just fantastic. So, if the expert thinks it's fantastic, then obviously I had good reason to enjoy it. Okay. And we're Durban. Your birthday is on 22nd. Well, happy birthday when you get all your AMC ape thingies as your present. Okay. What's your gaming thinks advice with the server jobs? Fingers crossed someone hires me as a waiter. Still upset parents in college. 4 years for a CS degree isn't worth it. Here's what I suggest with the CS degree is, wait tables, do whatever you can to make cash. And then develop apps on the side. See what hits. Put those things up on the various Play stores and see what hits. If something works out, then you can use that as like, hey, I made this successful app. Hire me at your company. My friend Eric does that, and it seems to work pretty darn well. Ever Durban, end payment for order flow. End payment for order flow, indeed. Yes. RC doubled down. That's what it's saying. Fantastic. Mr. Diamond Hands, hey buddy, what's your take on Revlon? I think Revlon's going to rip as well. What's up with your roommate's PC? And hear anything yet? Well, after not answering me for a while, me putting them on blast, I got some tech support guy. He's like, we can't do anything except suggest some help to fix the computer. I said to replace it. I'm going to talk shit about Dell and Alienware on every social media I have until it gets fixed. And then all of a sudden, a supervisor was like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a supervisor. I'd like to help you if we could. And I was like, cool. And it's like, well, it looks like his computer is 1 year and 64 days old, so it's past the warranty phase. And I said, he's been complaining about being broken since before the warranty, and you folks kept promising that you could fix it, and you didn't. So, obviously, it's still under warranty since we reported it since before the warranty was up. And so you're going to replace this computer because it's broken. And he's like, well, we can't do it. You need to run this diagnostic. I'm like, I can't run diagnostic. He's like, why not? Because the computer won't boot up. That's why. It's a device power state failure, which means the motherboard is absolutely effed in the A. And this is the third motherboard on this computer. Obviously, the motherboard is what's wrong all the time on this computer. So send him a new computer. And so it sounds like we might get him a new computer. Or at least a fourth motherboard. But if you're going to pay $6,000 for a computer, it should give you fellatio and never break. That's how a computer should run. Don't break first week out of the box. Actually, I think the first time I tried to turn it on, it wouldn't turn on. and they sent him the new motherboard. It booted up for a while, and that didn't turn on anymore. Sent him a third motherboard, and that's the one that's been broken for past 2 months, 3 months. So hopefully we'll get it fixed. It's just a pain in the ass because his entire livelihood is editing video on that computer, and he can't make a living because the computer never works. So Dell and Alienware, get your shit together, fix his computer. You could have bought a car with that money, and you bought your computer instead, and it doesn't work. So do better. Rick Sanchez, Houston, do you partake in marijuana? Just kidding, you live in Northwest. You do. I don't. I'm a square. Total square. I've never had a drink. Don't smoke. Never done weed of any kind. I am as square as it gets. I don't care if you guys do. But I had a sibling who spent a lot of time going to rehab when I was very young. And I decided that I'm just not going to do that. I had a happy childhood without drugs and alcohol. So I figure I can have a happy adulthood without it as well. And that's how I operate. So I just don't want to chance the fact that, the addiction factor of drugs and alcohol that has wiped out so many cousins, aunts and uncles, grandparents. I don't want that to happen to me. So I just don't. Bartended for years. Never had a glass of alcohol in my life. All right. Hey, we got a Gem Miner in here talking about the Ion Q. BB brand. Be a pleasure to see Bigums in a less stressful environment than one he creates for himself. All right. Hopefully, get him. We'll get him by either Wednesday or Friday. We'll have to see. He might still be on his show, so I don't think he's messaged me back yet. Not yet. I haven't heard from him yet. But we'll get him on here. We'll have him talking about the depths of what the Phase 6 means, because I've only got a cursory glance of it, and he's got the true data. Okay. Daphne Houston, can the DTCC be sued for not following the directions and intent GME has for this dividend? I'd think so. If they didn't do what they said in their filings, then they did it wrong, and they broke the spirit of whatever contract they have to distribute those shares. So I would love to see somebody successfully sue the DTCC for once and force them to open up their books. Because that has not happened yet. They've been subpoenaed and sued so many times, and they've never once had to show anybody what the ledger looks like that they use. It is behind a curtain, and no one gets to look at it except for those inside the DTCC. Brandon Carson, how come they haven't tried to cover to get Ape yet? Lou said they would this week. I would have thought today would have been a push because it's the last day for the date of record. It looks like they doubled down their shorting and they pushed the price down. So, yeah. No, says. So there are 700 trillion in hidden swaps. 70 million GME shares makes an easy $100,000 share with money already around. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, me too. Houston Wade Jr. CMKM Diamonds. 2.25 trillion synthetics in 1 year. Brokers deleted retail positions in still in litigation since 2005 per Bigum's latest. CMKM Diamonds is an interesting case. There may have been lots of shorting done by short hedge funds and market makers, but there are also insiders who, through their transfer agent, would sell shares, cancel, sell them again, and they did this to the tune of 700 billion shares. So they basically printed 700 billion shares they weren't authorized to print, and some insiders went, and their transfer agent went to jail for that, went to prison. They got convicted. So CMKM is a different animal altogether because while the hedge funds may be doing criminal stuff, the folks at the company were also doing criminal stuff. So I don't know if penalties offset or something here. I don't know. It's something to learn about, but also a cautionary tale about corporate malfeasance as well, because they did bad stuff too. No, if you saw about CNK Diamond, how can you not DRS? It was their transfer agent, the people DRS'd in, that caused the crime at CMKM Diamond. The transfer agent was who was in cahoots with the criminals that were selling and reselling shares over and over and over again to the tune of 700 billion shares. And they all went to prison for it. So there's a cautionary tale about direct registering shares, actually. Because that's who was doing the crimes. So, White Wolf 1999 Houston, are you familiar with the stoned ape theory by Terrence McKenna? Sounds familiar? Stoned ape theory. Oh, okay. It's McKenna's hypothesis that humans began to migrate to new areas. At some point, they came upon psychedelic mushrooms growing in cow droppings, as is their wont, and ate them. And the human brain suddenly doubled in power. Why not? The psilocybin does have certain effects on human brain. It does change brain chemistry. One study found that people that have a lot of unsubstantiated fears, they might be scared of people of a different race, scared of their neighbors, fear of the government, fear whatever, that they start microdosing psilocybin, and all of a sudden, all those fears just kind of go away, and they no longer are scared of everything. It works. The studies seem to show it. Okay. 7 cents. That FINRA margin call thing is for mortgage-backed security stuff. I mean, if they wait until April before being on margin calls, folks, mortgage-backed security is going to be just going to be in the shitter. You're not going to be able to give those. You're not going to be able to pay people to take those off your hands. They're going to be worth so little. When the housing numbers come out sometime in November for the third quarter, it's going to look really, really bad. Really bad. Housing starts are down. Construction companies are starting to lay people off. Home sales are way down, and the prices are beginning to dip in all the major markets across the U.S. at least. I don't know how it is elsewhere in the world, but it sounds like Australia is really bad. That their housing market has shit the bed as well. And DVS or Heb, if one of you guys can verify, someone had said that every loan in Australia is an adjustable rate mortgage of some kind. Like you get an intro rate and then it kicks your ass after 2 years. That sounds bad. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Scrolling. Michael Ajero, Diego Garcia has a huge amount of munitions that are kept by U.S. military. Looks like it. Looks like they had a big old bunker base there. That shirt is fine, dripping D. This is a nice shirt. I love this shirt. I actually couldn't really tell at first it was feathers until I put it on. I was like, oh, they're feathers. I thought they're kind of like firework explosions. And I dig this shirt. This would be a great one to wear if I ever go up in a Blue Origin rocket ship, because their logo is a big feather. Brandon Carson, is he a geologist or out science guy? I am a geologist, an astronomer, and a geographer, and hopefully soon a historian. But I got a ways to go. I'm going really, really slowly through my master's in history. Like 2 classes a year slowly. It's going to take some time. Take some time to get there. They're expensive. Classes are expensive. I've only seen bats flying. I've never actually seen one hanging in person. There, BTB Brand says he opened the front door and a bat was hanging over the door frame. That would freak me out. But I've only seen them flying around. Never actually seen like a bat hanging somewhere. Even like the lava tubes in Hawaii, where you'd think like the native bats would be. I never saw any in the lava tubes there. Maybe too many people were going through the lava tubes. The bats are like, too much of this. Bubble Blast 0826. Every octopus arm has enough neural connections to count as its own brain. They also need to be played with once an hour when they're in research labs, otherwise they get bored and escape. It's one of the reasons why octopus are my arbitrary non-eats. Anything as smart as a 5-year-old child, I don't eat. If they're dumber than a 5-year-old child, I'll octopus fit in that realm. So I don't eat calamari. I don't eat pulpo. I don't eat taco. I don't eat octopus. I don't care how delicious it is. I don't care if it's a bycatch or something else. Just don't eat it. Most people who own stocks are not chronically only degenerates like you and me. There's a lot of us degenerates that are in there, man. Okay. BOFH, I have aspires in my living room since I moved in. As far as I'm concerned, it's earned its keep in my place from all the flies it killed. I had one the other day that I didn't realize was we have like a corner in the kitchen where cabinets and countertop meet. And this time of year, we get some flies outside the house. I got one of those like electrocuting fly rackets and zaps them. And I zapped one, and it fell, and it landed suspended in this little web at the corner of the floor is. And this spider came out so quick, I started wrapping it up. I was like, hey, buddy, welcome for the meal. You're in a corner. I will let you do your thing. As long as you don't leave that corner, I will give you as many flies as possible with this paddle. You can become a fat, happy spider. Oh. And, okay, I got like 20 minutes left or so. And I am still so far behind. Okay, I'm 30 minutes behind. That's not so bad. Half your room is me, the other half. No, that closet is a nightmare over there. It is an absolute shit show. I do not recommend anybody look over there. Skiing gear, tons of shirts, legal documents. It's just a mess. So that's why we focus on the books behind me here and this messy part of the desk. Bullish on frozen bean camera. I've never opened Logitech 1080 cam. I don't know why I haven't. I went with this one because it said it was better than Logitech, and it was great for the first 6 months that I had it. Now, you don't do anything anymore. I'm staring at you, and you aren't taking my image at all. So yeah. Boom. Bubble Blast 0286, it would make sense for us to incept dreams, especially since we know little about the brain. Yeah, Why not? It'd be a great way to climb around some people's heads. I like it. I like it. When Monkey Butt Cam. Well, so we're really at the point where everything went off the rails. Okay. All right, I gotta get past all the. Daphne, everyone 0826 is my daughter and future neurologist. There you go. Excellent. I have one friend from high school who got her PhD in neuroscience, and she's super smart. She's a very smart person. She did her undergraduate Sweetbriar, and then I think she got her PhD at Florida State. Oh, shit, can't remember. She's back here up in Northwest now, after teaching in Texas for a long time. But yeah, getting a PhD in neuroscience, no small feat, man. But welcome, Bubble Blast. All right. Sell it all, buy it all, cry on the internet. Oh, you guys are hilarious. I'm not too far behind now. There's been enough chit chat I scrolled past. I'm only 20 minutes behind, so now I'm getting all of it. Okay. Alright, okay. This is why you buy adult Legos and build your own computer. I've seen some incredible engineering Lego things recently. The coolest one I saw most recently was a guy built a submarine that had enough AI in it and range fighters that it could navigate a river system. It was crazy. It was a Lego submarine. It was one of the coolest things. You could change the ballast so it could go down or up and get over obstacles. It was so cool. Okay. I read the comment you got doxed in. You're in Colorado. Okay. Oh, late at night. It's almost midnight. There's 272 of you guys being weird in here. And am I almost caught up now? Houston Wade, the max time you can fix your loan in Australia is 5 years. I saw this coming and fixed mine and told all the people I know to do so, but interest rates have gone up 3 times since October. So hopefully, when you reset that loan, you fix it, you can skip past all this stuff, and then when they have to start lowering interest rates incredibly to spur investment again, you can fix it once more. So that sounds interesting. That's a weird way of doing it. But yeah, if your loan explodes during this time, oh man. Housing market's going to die so hard. Eonori. Got a palindrome there. Yeah, when the 2 years is up, nearly up, they try to refinance all their mortgages. Everyone's trying to refinance constantly, which is sounds like a pain in the ass paperwork. Why can't you guys just do 30-year fixed like other people? I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. Maybe the bankers want something to do. Want to constantly run your credit reports all the time. Oh, Houston, why does Michigan have huge dunes but Illinois is as flat as a pancake? Okay, let's look at that. We can talk about that. All right, gotta zoom out of Diego Garcia here and head our way all the way across the world to the Great Lakes. Donk, donk, donk. Okay, so one thing you have to look at. Oh, go north, you ding dong. So you gotta look at Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is this big old dingle dangle dong of water. It droops all the way down from Lake Huron, and you look at the weather, right? So you have weather that comes off the Pacific into the Northwest and pushes its way across the ocean, across the continent. And you also have really cold air that will come down from the north, and really hot, humid air, moist air that will come up from the south. And when these things meet, they make huge storms, and the winds can become line winds, and those things will push from west to east. And so, if you look at this lake here, you have lots of drainages of river systems that pump material all over. You know, all these rivers will dump into Lake Michigan, but the winds predominantly go from west to east. And as a result of that west-east motion, when the wave action builds up, those waves will deposit more and more sand on the windward side than the leeward side. So it builds up over time, and then the wind will carry that sand from the shoreline and push it uphill, and you get lots of dunes out here that way. So you'll get tons of dunes in Michigan, just like you get tons of dunes like at Oregon, Honeyman Park here. If we go to Honeyman, kind of see the dunes from space here. We've got dune areas here in Oregon, same effect. Big waves and wind crash on the shore. The wind blows the sand uphill, and then you get dunes building up just like that. So that's why you get dunes on the Michigan side and not so much on the Illinois or Wisconsin side, because the wind goes that way. It goes from west to east. Yeah. I want to also visit the dunes in Michigan. A friend of mine growing up, his grandparents had some house out here, and every summer he'd go like play on the dunes all summer, and I was really jealous. I always wanted to go, but never got invited as a 9-year-old to go play on those dunes. That's why. That's why they're SS Minnow Johnson. Okay. I call these till the guy drinks out of a mason jar. You showing up for that? Oh, I put the wrong one on again. Bing, there we go. Yeah. They don't have any other glasses in the house that are large enough to last a show. It's the only thing. The only thing that's big enough. Okay. Big dog and monkey butt. Well, monkey butt's right here. You see her little ear. She's having herself a little sleepy time. She hates the fact that I just woke her up by scratching her head. She's just, oh, it makes her so mad. Big dog's asleep behind me on the floor. Okay. Okay, I used to attacking my sushi choices. Yeah. Get a feeling this guy uses DoorDash more than he should. I have never used DoorDash once in my life. I don't think it's even available here. We have a local company called like Bainbridge Eats or something that kind of serves that purpose, but I've never used them. At most, if I'm hungry, I just go to the grocery store. Because nothing's open late, and that's when I get hungry. So like I can go to the grocery store and get a steak or something. It'll be a brand with a 5.6-foot wingspan and a weight of as much as 2.6 pounds. The golden crowned flying fox is the largest bat in the world. It's found in the Philippines. It eats fruit in the Philippines, and they can be like huge. But it always astonishes me how light flying animals are. Oh, the monkey butt. This is the look of a monkey butt who wants me to get her blanket. All right, buddy. You got your blanket on the floor, so there you go. Happy dog. Plunk. Happy dog. All right. Is your Elgato overheating? Maybe trying to install an update of some kind. Also, when was the last time you rebooted that computer? It might be worth trying to fix those issues applicable. When was the last time the computer got rebooted? A couple weeks ago. We usually just keep them running because it takes forever to boot up. So, yeah. Probably maybe due for a reboot. I haven't gotten the warning of things updated recently. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I do have to reboot this thing. Okay. Alright. Also, Brian, how do you decide when to take profit from a long-dated call option? When you feel like it's enough, I guess. I've never managed to sell a call option at its absolute peak. Never done that before. I've been close. Missed it by a couple bucks here and there. But as long as you are green, then you're okay. You made more money than you put in. That's all that should matter. Blair Barkley, you've heard red skies at night, sailors delight, red sky and morn, sailors take warn. I think we're at red sky in the morn financial mark. Yeah, do you guys know why that's a thing? So red sky at night means sun is setting, you got fairly clear weather, and you've got a system that's passing overhead and leaving you. Red sky and morn, sailors take warn, means when the sun is rising, you have either cirrus or stratocirrus clouds moving in, which means the storm system's coming in, and the weather's probably going to get bad. That's why that's saying. But yeah, I think we are definitely sailors take warn right now. I mean, Michael Burry sold off everything the last couple of days. He's like, I'm out. Poop. Although he didn't say anything about the report, didn't hear anything about his short positions. If he like dumped those, stuck with those, or what. Okay. DVS, that's the plan. Most loans are floating here. It's a worry for sure. It's well on its way to dying, but we knew because we were paying attention to GME. There you go. All right. So at least you're on board knowing what's going on there. BBBY brand, 60% of Canada's housing mortgages are variable. That number is gnarly because Canada's real estate has been absolutely insane. A huge number of offshore, out of state, what term call it, foreigners buying lots of luxury homes and apartments and land in Canada have just caused the prices to skyrocket, which is silly because Canada's like all land. And yeah, that's bad news for the Canadians. Rupert Trooper. Houston, can I sell a call option early to lock in time value? For instance, if I have $8 strike expiring 123 and BB hits $50, I'm up based on the time value. Will there be buyers take my position? Yeah. There will. Oftentimes, a lot of times, those buyers are the option writers themselves. They would rather just take that money from you or take that option from you and delete it from existence rather than have to face dumping a bunch of shares your way they can't afford. So a lot of times the buyers, when the price spikes like crazy, the option writers themselves just taking them off the market because they don't want you to exercise. You exercise and it costs them, 10 times as much. So they'll gladly just buy it from you. Jonathan Trucker, please fix my life. How's your life broken? I don't know how to fix it necessarily, but I can tell you, do things that make you happy. As much as you can. You can't all the time, because sometimes you got to do stuff that sucks, like mow the yard and unplug a drain and fix things and go to work. But at least figure out how to be as happy as often as you can inside of that framework. Okay, all right, 11:55. We've got 5 more minutes here. 5 more minutes, and then Houston's gonna check off. AMC Bigums did an excellent job at explaining Ape tonight. Highly recommend watching his stream. All right, perfect, excellent. Dr. Spurgeon, the Sturgeon Surgeon. Have you been to the House on the Rock in Wisconsin? I have not been there. I've only been to Wisconsin once. Once? Yeah, once as a kid. I've not made it that far east in a while. Or driving, at least. I've done as far east as Minnesota road tripping and then up into Canada and over. But because our family land up in Timmins, easiest way to get there is up and over through Minnesota into Ontario that way. But I've not been to Wisconsin since I was a kid. All right. Tom R. Houston, happy birthday. Can you explain why the solar system that we know is moving in a vortex? It's easy to explain because it isn't. The vortex video is cool, and it supplants that our star system is traveling basically on a pole of its axis of rotation. It's not. It's kind of moving around haphazardly throughout our solar system based upon gravitational interactions with other large bodies. Basically, we've got, bring out baseball example again, got our sun, and the sun likes to rotate, and everything else goes around the sun in the direction of the sun's rotation. But we have a giant galaxy, and our solar system rotates around the galaxy. It does about one rotation every 120 million years, about how long it takes to do a complete revolution around the galaxy. And the model that was really popular on the internet was like, the sun rotates, but what they said was the sun rotates and kind of like a bullet, like rifles its way through the solar system. Therefore, the planets are going around it, and it's making this kind of vortex-looking thing. That's not actually how it happens. We are more or less rotating almost on the plane of the galaxy, and a little off from the plane of the galaxy, and then we're going around at an angle, so it's a little kiltered. So we're not quite going in a bullet rifling pattern. It's a cool model, and it looks neat for people to look at, but not quite how it works. Okay. Okay. Oh, people talking about how they ran on a few hours of sleep. I refused. I love sleep. I will sleep until I wake up and be the happiest person in the world. That's what makes me happy. I literally got a degree in astronomy because there were no classes offered before noon. That's it. I have refused to teach morning classes. I operate entirely based upon the fact that I like to wake up when I wake up, and keeps me young, keeps me healthy, and I enjoy life that way. I don't like waking up to alarms at all. I will be setting an alarm for 6:30 in the morning because I had to wake up, sell my calls, buy a bunch of Bed Bath & Beyond, and then go back to bed. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. I think I'm pretty much caught up here. Dr. Spurgeon, the Sturgeon Surgeon, I can buy a condo in Vancouver or 6,000 acres in Alberta for the same price. Yeah. Like, it's nuts. There's plenty of land out there. Vancouver's problem is all the houses are empty because they're all bought by a bunch of like triads from Hong Kong trying to offshore their wealth. And so the vacancy tax was a brilliant idea. I think it should be a little bit higher. And it has been causing homes to get filled with cheap rent. But yeah, Diaz, no sex bots today. Did I block all their accounts or something? Let's get them back. Okay. We'll be doing a show Wednesday. We'll do a show Friday. I'm not sure which date AMC Bigham's will come on, but it'll be one of those days. And we'll get him on here. But that's it for me tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. You folks are always lovely and hilarious and crack me up. And get some sleep because you all need it. And let's hope we have lots of green, and that we can all be very comfortable with our winnings. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? So let's do that. Let's rock and roll, baby. All right. Oops, wrong one. Not that one. This one. Boing.